Welcome back. So after 20 weeks of hard work from everyone involved, I'm now pleased to finally share with you the final 6-bed luxury HMO conversion. Come inside and I'll show you around. So welcome to the first room. This is the loft room, which we created from scratch. So the original roof used to go from here right across. So we took that away and then built out a lovely dormer that goes across and down to build out this 12-meter squared room. In terms of the design and layout, I went with the bed on this side of the wall with a dark grey headboard to go against the light grey feature wall. Every room has a suspended bedside table, and then above that you have a drop-down pendant, which is a nice feature in the evening. And I've gone with a brass finish to match the sort of oak and walnut on the fixtures and fittings. And then the black string that you see here is to match the frame of the pictures above the beds. And then I'm a big fan of natural light. So in this room, and where possible, we've gone for a really big window and it offers great natural light into the room. And then you've also got a very nice view into the residential roads, which I think is great for the sort of look and feel in this room for a tenant. And then everything else for the tenant is on this side of the room. So they've got their working desk station, great space, as you can see with the laptop here. The TV will then go above here, which can be viewed from the bed, and also if you're then sitting here working. You've got the wardrobe, which is pretty much floor to ceiling, which comes also with 2 drawers down here, which is fitted, which is really good because it means that we can save space by not putting a chest of drawers somewhere else. And then really good space, storage for clothes and that nature. And then this particular room also comes with its own kitchenette. So we've gone for grey cupboards with a dark worktop surface with the white and grey brick style to match the feature wall. So I think it flows extremely well. In here is the biggest ensuite in the property. So as you come in, you've got your sink right in front of you, and then the shower is wrapped around here. And I've decided to go with large grey concrete scratch effect as a finish, which is, we've put it in the wet area. So you've got a towel here and then a towel all around in the shower area. And in this ensuite, you've actually got some space here, which can be used for a dirty basket, or if a tenant wants to put some shelves in this area. So it has everything that a tenant needs. And the last thing I'd probably mention is when laying out all the furniture, I'm also thinking about how much floor space is left. So you can still see with everything in the room, there's still quite a bit of floor space to be creative. You can work out, and things of that nature. So really pleased with how we've worked on this room. And then just some small details that go with every room. So I've installed door stoppers for obvious reasons, and coat hangers to allow the tenant to put their coats here instead of on the door or on the floor or somewhere else. So just really thinking about all the different features as to what a tenant may need. So if you follow me now into the next bedroom, this used to be the master bedroom, and it was previously bright yellow, and we've now transformed it into one of 3 of our modern green rooms. So the feature wall here is called Tranquil Dawn. So it's a nice neutral color, not too light, not too dark. And I think it goes really, really well with the entire property. We've gone for a light gray headboard against the feature wall. And the thinking as to why the bed's on this side is because I was very mindful of the person that will be living in the loft and them going up and down the stairs, as to why I put it here and not on this side of the wall, really for noise reduction. So we've got the built-in wardrobe on this side. And then where possible, if there's enough space, I'll try to supply a sofa, because I'm really thinking about the user experience of someone that will be living here. So if I'm going to invite a few friends round, it would be nice if I was on the bed and then a couple of friends were on the sofa, and then maybe someone was on the desk chair. We've got double sockets right next to the sofa, so really clear as to where we want our furniture to be. And in this room, what I love is we have 2 large windows which give us great natural light in this room, facing the front, and it just helps with that feel good factor. We've got our working desk station over here next to the radiator to stay warm. The TV will go above here, which can be viewed from the bed, the sofa, and also the desk here. We've got the wall mirror positioned here because we've got double sockets here, so you can put a couple of appliances here and use that space. So it's really important to think about the layout of the furniture, where you're going to position your bed, the sockets, and everything else. So you're probably wondering where the ensuite is for this room. And for the first floor, we've designed it in such a way that we've converted the middle bedroom to create 2 en-suites and 2 kitchenettes. So if you're living in this space, all you've got to do is take a couple of steps out of your room, down the hallway, and then you can have your very own kitchenette space, which I think is an incredible feature and value for the tenant that will be staying here. So they've got ample storage space, you know, nice size sink with a drainer to the right, freezer, fridge, built-in microwave, and then also 2 hob units. So in effect, they don't have to go downstairs for anything unless they need to wash their clothes. Everything that this person needs is between this kitchenette and also in their room. And I've got the door to separate the kitchenette for the ensuite for obvious reasons, but it's just, again, a very neutral ensuite. Your toilet, sink and shower, same design with our large grey tiles, the concrete scratch effect. And I've kept the herringbone floor to run through both the kitchenette and the ensuite. So welcome to the largest bedroom in the property. I'm extremely pleased with how we've been able to configure this part of the floor, because originally the main bathroom was in this section here, and then the corridor was still from where the door is to where I'm standing, which meant that the third and final bedroom upstairs was just in this section here, which is really small. So by knocking down the wall here, by knocking down this partition wall, we've been able to open up this space, and this comes in at about 15.4 meters square, so really lovely space for whoever decides to choose this room. In this area here, I decided to go with an L-shape combination with the desk and also the wardrobe, and then go with a different feature wall just to break up from the larger feature wall because the room is so big. So we've got the bed on this side of the room. And one of the things I love about this room is that it faces the rear. So you've got a nice view to the residential roads, and it's quite quiet back here as well, which is really important. And with the bed being back here and the workstation and the wardrobe on that side of the room, you still have all of this space to work with as a tenant. So I decided to put a 3-seater sofa here, which gives us still so much floor space to work with. So you could put a coffee table here, you could work out in this space. I mean, it's enough space to even play a little bit of football. Not that I would recommend my tenants to do that, but it just gives you a sense as to how much space we actually have here. And I think one thing that's quite important, it's one thing to lay out furniture and design it in such a way to attract a tenant, but this layout and the way we finished it hopefully will help to keep a tenant long term. So that's something that I pay attention to. Now in this room, it also has its own off-suite and kitchenette, which I'll show you. And it's very much similar to the previous room, whereby everything that tenant needs is here. So we've got the ample storage space, 2 hob unit, fridge freezer, built-in microwave. And then the ensuite is the exact same layout as next door. And the only difference is slightly bigger, and it has its own window, which is frosted glass, and it provides really good natural lighting. So again, that feel good factor runs throughout here, the kitchenette, and also into the room. So bringing you back downstairs to the ground floor, I want to show you the next bedroom, which used to be a very dark green, horrible living room. And we've now transformed it into one of our green themed modern rooms. As you come into the room, I've got the desk positioned here. The TV will go above, and I've thought very carefully about exactly where to position the bed. So I wanted to create a bit of space between this wall and the beds to put the bedside table, because if I put the bed up against the wall, there wouldn't be as much space here to fit a sofa. So as I mentioned upstairs, I'm really thinking about the user experience, putting myself in the shoes of the tenant. So I sacrificed a little bit of space in the front. And if you're sitting here, you've got, of course, a very great view to the television. You can read here. So it's a really nice feature and value add to see if you can get a sofa into a room. Behind me, I've got 4 great size windows. I've mentioned before just how much of a big fan I am about natural lighting. Again, it just really adds to that feel-good factor. And the sofa is actually next to a radiator. So really thinking about where everything is positioned to create maximum value. Now on this side of the wall, there used to be a chimney breast. So we've knocked that chimney breast down to allow us to play with this side and create the following. So from here to here, it's perfectly measured to be able to put in our wardrobe unit. And then this station here where you've got the fridge, freezer, a shelf for anything that you need, a built-in microwave, and also a shelf above. So it's a little bit like what you would get in a hotel. And then we've put up this partition wall to create the ensuite space. So as you come in here, you've got the sink right in front of you. the toilet as you come in to your right, and then creatively using the space, the shower here used to be part of the hallway. So we've pinched that space, which is effectively dead space, to create a nice size ensuite for this room here. And I love the way in which everything flows. And I think we've done a great job in being able to transform it from what it was to what it looks like now. So far I've shared a lot about my thinking around the design, the layout of each room and where I've positioned the furniture. But I think it's really important at this stage to just talk a little bit about the importance of health and safety protocols. So we've got a grade A fire alarm system installed. We've got fire break glass on every single floor, and we've got the fire exit signs in the necessary points. Now, I want to mention a couple of words about the hallway and the thinking here. So I wanted to go with a different character and feel in the communal spaces versus the room. So in the hallways, what you'll see is lamp black color paint on the banisters and also the skirting against matte white, which I think gives it its own feel. And then you've got the same flooring that you would have seen upstairs, which is that herringbone light oak, which I think complements the color scheme really well. So if you just come and follow me here, I think this is a really important point to mention. So this used to be the dining room. And so we've put up this wall to separate this hallway from the next bedroom that I'm going to show you. And it then allows you to have access into the kitchen. So I think what you're seeing is how we've configured the entire property to create the necessary rooms and spaces. So this is the 5th bedroom, and it used to be the dining room space. And so we used to have a chimney breast here. So by knocking that out, it really allows us to use this side of the wall. So I went with the bed in the corner, just above the window, which faces the front. And then this desk is built in, facing the rear of the property, right in front of a nice size window. And then purposely designed it so that the radiator could fit between the bed and the desk. And that allows us to then have all of this floor space in this area. Now, despite this room being the smallest room at 10 meters squared, based on the layout, we've really been able to create, I think, a great space for a tenant, because even in this area here, you could potentially put a beanbag and really create that nice feel. So I'm really pleased at how we've been able to figure this out and make it work. I'm extremely pleased about the ensuite, because this ensuite used to be part of the kitchen. So we've pinched an adequate space from the existing kitchen to put in the toilet, shower and sink, and it flows extremely well. And it's almost like if I never told you this was part of the kitchen, you wouldn't even know. So welcome to the kitchen communal space. This used to be a very funky colored kitchen, which was yellow, green, red, a mix of different colors. We had chimney breasts over here. We had a storage unit over here that wasn't used. We had a toilet that was over here, which was for the outside. So we've completely knocked all of that down and out to create this modern feel that you see here today. I really like the way that we've actually designed this. And when you think about what I've shown you around the property, this kitchen will really only be used by about 2.5 tenants. So the person that will be living there, the person that will be living in the room that I've just come from, and potentially also in the front room where you just have the fridge, freezer, and microwave. Everyone else pretty much has their own kitchenette space and facilities. On the cupboards, we've labeled each cupboard to avoid any confusion and any complaints. And I've also done the same when it comes to the fridge and freezer units. So typically what you will see is a big fridge freezer unit, whereas what I've decided to do is give every single tenant in this property their own fridge freezer unit. And it just helps over the long term, right? If if there's any food that's been left here when the tenant leaves, we know exactly who it belongs to and who needs to clean it up. So just thinking about the long term and really thinking about the total user experience, not just in the rooms, but when they also come into the kitchen, how do they operate, how do they flow, and how does everything work together? So this is the last room, the 6th room downstairs. And I am extremely proud about this space because this used to be the overgrown garden. And it's now the rear extension where we've created this space. So as you come in from the kitchen, you've got your ensuite to the left. And what I like about this room is you've kind of got a small hallway before you then meet the room. We've used this corner as our L-shaped working desk wardrobe combination. And I was very mindful of putting the wardrobe on this side versus that side, just so it can continue with the hallway. So a couple of steps before then you come into the room. We've got the bed on this side of the room, just underneath the window. Again, great size. And in this room, I've got 2 windows. So one here and also one on that side as well. Again, that feel good factor, natural light coming in throughout the day. And one of the biggest benefits to this room that no other property has is it has its own access to the road. So the person that's living here can come and go as they please, just like a front door. They don't have to use the front door that everybody else uses. So, I mean, at this stage, I've shown you 6 rooms. I personally don't have a favorite. You know, you can comment below and let me know which one you like and why. I think as the creator of each room, every room has its own story, its own character, and I love every single one of the rooms that I've shown you. And just a couple of points at the rear of the property. So I'm going to finish off by putting a fence right across, just to give some garden space to all 6 tenants that live here. They'll be able to access it from the kitchen, and it'll be a nice space during the summertime. Then there's one space for a car park, so it's almost like first come, first serve. And the garage has already been let out to a separate individual. So I'm very proud about this entire finish, how we've gone back to brick and we've reconfigured the property to get it to the standard that you see now. What I'm really most impressed about and proud about is being able to put a really good product on the market and to raise the quality of rooms provided to the people that are looking for rooms in this area. You know, I want to thank everyone that was involved, especially my investors. This wouldn't be possible without them. And with regards to the financials, so I secured this property for £181,000. For planning and legal fees, we're all in for £15,000. The renovation that you see here, plus the furnishing, came to £170,000. And then we're expected to have an end value of £465,000 with an annual rent roll of £50,000. So in the end, really pleased with what we've been able to create from scratch until now. And if you're new to this video, I've documented week 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15, so you can see how this project went from its original state to where it is now.